All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Community Hour here on WRMN AM 1410. We appreciate everyone tuning in today to the Voice of the Valley and the Talk of the Town. Serving you, the Fox River Valley area, this is the Community Hour where we like to talk about the community. We like to bring folks on the air here to talk about businesses and organizations and what they have to offer, what they do, to get the recognition that they deserve, and that you, the listeners, can also know what's happening in the Fox River Valley area too. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. Like I do always say, if you want to tune in to the AM 1410 dial, you might be listening there already. We also do have our YouTube side of things, so that's youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you always know what's going on in the Fox River Valley, or as I call the Fox River Valley 411, right? What's going on in the area. Of course, there are lots of things that are happening, and there are a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And we want to keep you in tune with some of those, kind of open it up to you, right? So we do have here very special guests. We have Lesli, oh my goodness, Melendy, Lesli Melendy, Executive Director, and Susan Russell, Director of Member and Business Relations of Metro West. I've been promoting Metro West here on the air for the past couple of days, telling you they're coming on during the Community Hour, and they are here. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So give just a little introduction on yourselves, a brief introduction, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sure. I'm Lesli Melendy, and I'm the Executive Director of Metro West Council of Government. Metro West Council of Government is a member-driven organization. We represent Kane County, DeKalb County, and Kendall County municipalities. So we have 37, soon to be 38 members. We can't announce that one yet, but that's exciting. And we really promote excellence in government. We promote collaboration and cooperation amongst our mayors and managers.
Very nice.
And I'm Susan Russell, Director of Member and Business Partner Relations. I work directly as a liaison with the municipalities, the mayors and village managers, and then also business partners that have a vested interest in municipalities, Metro West, and the region as well.
Very nice. So, I mean, you've got a lot of different things. You've got 37 municipalities, 3 counties, representing 750,000 voices, a strong voice in the region and in the state. So tell us a little bit here on how do you see this mission driving your work on a day-to-day basis?
Well, for me, my background's in legislation and state government. So before I came to Metro West 6 years ago, I worked in the Illinois Senate. So my background has to do with legislation. And so my focus is on bringing good policy to local governments, protecting local control. Sometimes the state likes to dabble into what we're doing at the local level, and I work hard to make sure that our local municipalities are protected. And so a lot of my time is spent either doing away with bad legislation or trying to introduce legislation that benefits all of our municipalities.
Can you give an example on what kind of entails going into the protection of municipalities?
Sure. There's we use a lot of acronyms in government, and one of them is called LGDF. It's Local Government Distributive Fund. And it's money that when you purchase something, you pay a sales tax. A portion of that it all goes to the state. A portion of it comes back to the local municipalities. It's for the foreseeable past, it's been 10%. Over the years, with the financial issues that Illinois has had, that's been cut. So I am always advocating for the restoration of our 10% of LGDF, because the less money comes to our municipalities, the less services we can offer our residents. And in a town like Elgin, who's one of our founding members of Metro West, that's a huge amount of money. So it's a big hit to our local municipalities, and that pays for things like your police department, your fire department pensions, your roads, the infrastructure. So it's a big deal. So I'm always advocating for that.
Yeah, and I think what's important too is educating people as well, because I think a lot of people might think, yeah, we need to cut this because it's cut spending here and there, but they may not realize the outcomes of that and that it's affecting everyone.
Right. So, a lot of what we do is we have really great relationships with our legislators, our state and federal legislators. We're very fortunate in this whole area, the whole Fox Valley. We have some of the best legislators out there, and they're always willing to help us, and they're really supportive. So,
Very nice.
yeah.
So again, there's that legislative advocacy. It's that, tell us a little bit, okay, about how do you select and prioritize which issues to advance in legislators, and what have even been even an example of some like the most significant outcomes that you've seen?
So we have a legislative committee within Metro West, and we work year round, and we discuss legislation. We discuss what's important to us and what we want to see happen. And we put together a legislative priorities agenda, and then that goes to our full board, and it gets approved. And then that is our roadmap for session every year. So, for example, this year, transit is a big issue. And so that was one of our big focuses, the transit reform, and we're still working on it. LGDF is always one of our big ones. Help me out. What are some other legislative?
Well, anything having to do with public safety, FOIA has always been kind of, something that can get a little touchy as well. I don't mean touchy in a bad way, but I mean kind of dialing in on that a little bit more as well.
Right. So an issue we're currently working on are the solar farm. The state of Illinois passed a law that says in unincorporated part of counties, you can put a solar farm, and the municipalities really don't have any control. Well, in some municipalities, that was already in their long-term plan for retail development, so it's really inhibiting what the future of our municipalities can look like. So that's something that we're starting to work on right now. So that's an example. That will most likely be in our legislative agenda coming up in January.
Then, of course, there is strategic planning as well, too. The Strategic Plan Committee, they oversee alignment with the organization's long-range plan by recommending policy and program priorities. In your view, what's the most pressing strategic priorities for Metro West? I would say maybe like, kind of it's a long shot here, like maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. I know that that's kind of a long shot question there, but what would you say could be even?
I think continuing to engage with our legislators is always a strategic goal of ours. Legislators come and go, and we always have changes when the elections come. And like you were saying earlier, it's all about educating. And so we are constantly educating and re-educating our legislators on the issues, because they're not here in the trenches every day. They're in Springfield doing their thing. And so we need to make sure that they're aware of what's happening here and what our challenges are. And so it's a constant educating the new legislators and re-educating and keeping top of mind our issues and priorities. So I think legislation has a big impact on what we do at Metro West, because we're trying to create an excellence in promoting. So,
and I think something important to note is that we are non-political, and we work with both sides of the aisle.
Yes.
So that is something important about Metro West.
Yes.
We also, we work with both Republicans and Democrats to get good legislation passed in the House.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another big part of what we do is within our mayors and our members is collaboration and networking. So, sometimes a mayor, it can be a lonely job because, you're the first line of defense. Everyone's yelling. Everybody wants you to fix things. And so it's a unique position to be in. And so to be able to be around other mayors who kind of know what you're feeling or know what you're going through, or to bounce ideas off of each other, because we have some more experienced mayors, from larger towns and smaller towns, and then some newer ones. And so it's nice for them to get together and say, oh, I'm having this problem with e-scooters in my town. That's a hot topic right now. E-scooters. What are you guys doing? Or are you having this problem? And if so, what are you doing about it? And so it's that collaborative, process that we really value. And so as such, every month we have networking meetings for our members where they can come and just, collaborate, and it's a different place all around town. And then we have several events during the year. We have our legislative breakfast in January, where all of our legislators come and we share our goals for the year, and we talk about what we're going to be, talking to them about all year. And then we have our legislative barbecue and our golf outing. And so there's a lot of opportunities for our members to interact with each other and with our legislators.
Very good. Now, of course, there are a lot of, as we know, just people in general who might have questions or concerns about certain things. And sometimes it can be kind of hard to juggle all of it. So how do you maintain responding to certain concerns? I'm sure you'd have to have a wide range of connections and conversations in order to kind of keep that balance.
Yeah. So, I mean, my cell phone is always on. It's always going. My mayors call me directly. The business partner, Susan, does a wonderful job. We have a very robust business partner program that supports us. And so Susan really is in contact with them most of the time.
Yeah, and our business partners are companies that would have a vested interest in municipalities. It's our utility companies, cable companies, architecture firms, engineering, construction firms that are building new projects in a town, waste management, recycling companies, financial institutions. And so we work really closely with our mayors and village managers and our business partners to connect them to each other. So, for example, if there is a small rural town that is looking to bring fiber optic into their, like, do we qualify for a fiber optic grant? Do we, would somebody be interested in coming in? We're like, here's a connection you can make. Let's connect you there. Here's a member of an Illinois agency, Illinois EPA, Illinois, again, the acronyms, right?
IDOT,
Like DCEO,
yes.
IDOT. Let's get you connected with somebody. So you have a direct line of communication with this other business partner, this state agency, and we can kind of move forward with your project. So we're always making connections. I like to consider us a clearinghouse of information. Like, how can we help you as a municipality? Let's connect you with somebody.
Now, of course, there are limitations in certain things too. So how do you go about presenting those limitations at times? I guess, because I know that you can get many different reactions and things like that too. So how do you go about doing that? I mean, I know it's going to be different for everyone, but.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, and it's different, we try not to get involved in, for example, NICOR right now is talking about rate hikes. And they're having a forum in Elgin, and I forget when it is. But just yesterday I got several requests, are you getting involved? Are you saying anything? No, we don't typically get involved in that type of thing. But here's a fact sheet from NICOR, and here's the information on the forum if you'd like to go and, make some comments. So, we try to just give them the information and.
But you can only do so much.
Can only do so much.
Exactly.
And NICOR wants their feedback. So, the NICOR rep was like, we want to hear from the stakeholders. So basically, we're putting the connections together.
Yeah.
Very good. Tell us a little bit here too. There's also, I know that Metro West has helped spearhead the Water Conservation Task Force as well too.
Yes, Metro West administers another non-for-profit called the Northwest Water Planning Alliance. It's called NWPA for short. Mayor Captain is the chairman of it. He's been there since the inception. They work on sustainability, water sustainability, and conservation. And obviously that's a big concern, especially here in the Fox Valley. And so we're always talking about that. We just finished a huge sustainability plan in cooperation with CMAP, another acronym, and the Illinois State Water Survey. And so that should be coming out soon, if it's not already. I think we put it on our website.
Yeah, so it just came out.
And so we work on water conservation and water sustainability.
Very good. Now, say, I guess, for example, like there might be, I don't know how to word it, I guess. There might be something that, I guess, I don't really know where I was going with this question. Like there might be something that happens and then a new study shows that it was incorrect. So do you get that, you get that information out there as well too, or you work with people who will get that information out there?
Both. Okay. Both. Okay. Yes. New information comes out all the time.
Yep.
Right.
And so we just like to make sure we're passing along correct information. And so, yes, if it's the correct information we have at the time, we pass it along. If that changes, we pass that along with an update. Yep. And we have our website's pretty detailed, so we've got all kinds of resources on there. Some of it is for members only, but most of it you can go on and just kind of doodle around on there. Oh yeah, there's our picture with the governor. We go down every year. We take a delegation of mayors and managers and some trustees down to Springfield every year. We call it our Springfield Drive Down, and we meet with the governor and all the leaders and share just our concerns. And I will say the governor's been pretty open. He meets with us. He's always willing to listen to us, as well as the leader. So that's a really great benefit for our members that don't typically get to go down there or don't really know how the legislative process works. And so it's a really great opportunity for them to come down and see kind of how the sausage is made.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Tell us a little bit here, too, about member engagement and value. So there's a new member portal, webinars like cybersecurity in 2025, and events like the Springfield Drive Down Day as well, too. So what are some strategies that you found most effective in engaging municipalities and translating that engagement into measurable value?
So what we really like to do is we like to be a collective voice, and it's a huge advantage for municipalities to belong to one organization, well, and they will belong to other ones as well, but to have a collective voice, because when a collective voice speaks, people listen, legislators listen. I mean, we're the only council of government that represents 3 counties. So with Kane, Kendall, and DeKalb, some of the collar counties coming down to Springfield, that legislators listen, right? And so with that membership engagement, and we offer, in-person opportunities, as Leslie was mentioning, when we go down to Springfield, some of our mayors are only part-time mayors. So they don't have a full-time job as mayor. They have a full-time job, but then they're also mayoring part-time. And they may never have been down to Springfield. They don't know how a bill is passed. They've never met the governor. And so bringing that live experience to their personal experience helps them be a better mayor. And so they really, a lot of times our new mayors that go down there, they're just like, thank you so much, now I get it. Government typically moves at the pace of a snail as well. I mean, especially in Springfield. So to see and to be engaged, whether it's an in-person or whether it's a call to action, Leslie will also put out calls to action as we were talking about the updates of bills. And they're constantly changing the status of those.
Right.
And we will get an emergency alert and put that out to our members to say, hey, we need you right now to stop and fill out a witness slip and engage and say you're either for or against this bill. And so we can do that virtually engagement, and then we can also do it in person. And really the measurables are how the mayors come to us afterwards and say, that was a great experience. Thank you so much for letting me see how that process works. Now I'm able to translate that and communicate more to my constituents, or now I have a personalized relationship with my legislator and I can call them on a regular basis or feel more comfortable about doing it. A lot of times, smaller communities too, a population of 200, 300, they may not realize that they can just call their legislator. Those leaders, the legislators are going to listen to them. They're leaders of their community.
Very good. That was actually, so you had mentioned about communicating and that you get those alerts. My next question was going to be how technology has grown and how you've used it. And I think that's something that we're noticing too I think there's kind of I guess you could say in certain ways, yes, of course, a stigma that like technology causes less communication, but it can create a lot of strong communication as well too. And so that example you just gave is a good example of that.
Yeah.
With the technology.
Absolutely. The technology is a huge part of our daily operations because we are able to get information out very quickly. Again, open lines of communication with Leslie with me, direct access is huge. If there's an emergency that comes up, and again, the municipalities, they come around each other and support each other if there is an emergency situation as well. So natural, I don't want to say natural disaster, but a natural event where some municipalities come around during COVID. You were very involved. I mean, we had to do things remotely. So there was a huge switch, I think, at that point to do things a lot remotely, and has really helped to make our process and I think government even more efficient.
Yeah.
Very good. And I know that you also do have, of course, the ways of accomplishing so much. You have monthly board meetings as well, too. So tell us a little bit about that.
Those, they used to be in person, but, hello, COVID. Now they're on Zoom. So once a month, we have a Zoom meeting with our members, our mayors and managers, and we discuss anything that they want to discuss. We, go through it's a typical meeting with an agenda and, minutes and things
Legislative
like that.
updates.
We talk about legislative updates. We talk about hot topics. For example, last month we were talking about the e-scooters. That seems to be an increasing concern among some municipalities, and the safety of them, and how do we, kids want to be kids, and how do we allow them to do that, but in a safe manner? And so that's an example of something that we'll talk about at our board meetings, and we'll come up with an ordinance or a way to address those, and they bounce ideas off of each other.
And again, communication is key, and that's something that is so important, is to communicate. And it sounds like you guys are doing a great job doing that.
Yeah.
And that's so important to have that level of communication, and also level of listening as well too. Because a lot of people can, banter back and forth and yell and scream, but when you sit down and you have that civil conversation, you can get a lot more done that way.
Yes,
So-
yes. And how to solve the problem.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, thank you both for joining us. Before we let you go, we got about 50 seconds left. Where can people find more information about Metro West?
Sure. So you can go to our website, metrowestcog.org. And our phone numbers and contact information are on that, and we're always around and always available.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know that you'll be back on next month as well, too. We're excited to have you back. I'll have more specific questions and things like that as well, but I appreciate both of you joining us today.
Well, thanks for having us.
All right. Thank you. Of course. Folks, we're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more here on the Community Hour, WRMN AM 1410 here in just a bit. So, of course, stay tuned and we'll be back.